One of the coolest things about the process of glass blowing is just how primitive it is. Really, not much has changed in the last 1,000 years. There's no book that you can read that tells you what to do. It's literally just from spending time with the material that you learn how to manipulate it and work with it. We're almost like cavemen. Here we are, as the world is getting more and more focused on computers and technology, and we're getting farther and farther behind. We're playing with fire and metal tools, but it's amazing that we've been able to make a living doing what I love. We're a husband and wife team, started in 1999, having a glassblowing business. It's given an opportunity to other people that are passionate about glassblowing to also have careers. I've had the pleasure of being able to share what I've learned in Venice with my employees and pass on a lot of that information. Training the next generation, we're gonna maintain this process of glassblowing for years to come. Coming up with new products is the favorite part of my job. Carmen and I work together pretty much to design every piece. The Cumulo vessel is a neat piece that we spent a lot of time developing. We were just trying to create a piece that was more sculptural. First step is to grab a blowpipe, and we're gonna gather up some molten glass on the end of that pipe, roll it on the steel table that we call the marver, and from there we're gonna put in a little bit of air and create the starter bubble. At that point, we heat up a bar of colored glass, we get it molten hot, and we drop it on the starter bubble. We're gonna snip the molten glass with metal shears onto our starter bubble. Once we roll the color, we're gonna put multiple layers of clear glass over that, going into the furnace and gathering up as much molten glass that will stick to the bubble at one time. You can't gather up a big pile of glass all at once. You have to build it up in layers. After we get the desired amount of glass on the bubble, we're gonna roll the molten glass in these cherry wood blocks. That helps shape the glass. From there, we blow through the blowpipe and we can inflate the bubble and start making it thinner and bigger. And from this point, we start using heat, gravity, and centrifugal force to shape the piece. The starting foundation shape looks like a football. And then at that point, it gets handed off to the gaffer station where we start to add all the molten glass and blow it out into its final cumulo shape. The gaffer is the person that's responsible of the final shape of the piece and ultimately in charge of the whole glassblowing team. My assistant gathers 2 times out of the furnace and comes immediately over with just raging hot molten glass, and we dump it on the piece and then snip with straight shears. Once the molten dollop has been added, I'm using gravity and heat and then this metal spatula tool that's called a tag. Tag's short for taglio, which is the Italian term, to push the glass into the desired shape. We want to maintain that heat in the dollop of glass. That's the whole trick with making this piece, is that when we blow air in there, it's gonna blow out only in that one area and create a dome. We need to equalize the temperature and maintain a certain core temperature in our foundation piece so it doesn't crack. We're gonna pretty much repeat that process 9 times and just mentally and visually gridding out the piece into these 9 segments. When we're done, we need to transfer this piece onto what we call a punty. Now this is a rod that does not have a hole all the way through it. Now we're able to heat the mouth of the piece, and as we're spinning the piece, we can start to open it up. After we're totally satisfied with the shape of the piece, so we're gonna try to equalize the temperature a couple times, and then we're gonna take it off the rod by adding a little bit of water right where the punty is attached to the glass. And this is the scariest part of the process, is this is the point where most pieces break. You can give it one little tap and the piece should just pop right off. Once the piece is finished, we need to put it in the annealing oven. It is designed to cool the piece slowly so that it doesn't crack. After 12 hours in the annealing oven, we get to open the doors. The piece is now at room temperature, and this is the first time we could put our hands on it and actually see it. It's like Christmas morning every day. It's very important for me to keep the glass tradition alive because it's been a part of my life, and there was a master that took the time to train me. So that's what I want to do. I want to continue the tradition, pass down what I've learned to anyone else that has the passion like I did when I was first starting.